Hey, what is up, guys? Bluntguts here. This is a Watcher of Realms video. We got summoning in our future. There are banners coming out tomorrow on Friday, March 7th. I'm going to talk about them. So, we've got, obviously, we always have these 2x banners, the Crazy Invocation of Spirits, the Crazy Divine Summoning. Not bad banners to summon on. I always say this, especially if you are early game. I'd say the earlier, the less developed your account is, the less kind of fleshed out your roster is, the better those two banners are. But my experience playing this game for an extended period of time is that the more progressed your account is, the more kind of role players you have, the more important it is to pull multiple copies of the better heroes in the game, and that is where the 15x rate up banners do come in. Now, I will not advise anybody to spend any money right now. They haven't done anything to fix the pull rates on these banners. I just think they're god-awful right now. So that's my perspective. They have not disclosed the rates, so this whole, like, we're giving you 15 times the rate up thing is very disingenuous. It doesn't really tell us anything about what is going on with the rates, what probability we have to pull any of these heroes. So I'm not saying don't pull, have fun with it, but, you know, I would just, if you're going to spend money, go in with both eyes open. We don't really know what we're buying. So that would be my advice to you. With that said, this is a relatively solid banner here, and it's unfortunately not for the new hero. Lynx, I'm not all that high on. I think she's okay. She's probably a decent, like, early game kind of mixture CC and damage hero. I think maybe a progression hero early on, but I think she fits in more closely with some of the kind of mid-tier marksmen that are out there, like a Calypso or something like that. And I did just put out a video, I will have a link to it in the description of this one, where I broke down her CC abilities. Her damage is not all that great. There's other videos that have kind of broken that down. Given that the damage wasn't all that great, I didn't really want to do a video on that, but I was curious to see how her CC went. And I'm not going to go into depth on how it compared, but suffice it to say, she's not great. I think that if you have Ymir and Anora, then you can make a case for wanting her, largely because of this buff right here, or debuff, I should say. Winter's Bite basically reduces movement speed by 25% per stack, and then at 3 stacks, it will freeze a unit. Elites and bosses are not frozen by this, but at the same time, it is solid. It is a good debuff. The problem is that all of the heroes in the game that can do this, it's always a percent chance, a chance to proc this debuff on an enemy. And Lynx, she is kind of a mixture of single target and multi-target. She just doesn't really do enough, in my opinion, to be a solid CC champion, and her damage just isn't enough to be a good damage dealer. So it's like, what do you do with her? I think that maybe in GVG, she might be somebody that you could bring in who is going to be kind of an annoyance, so long as you have other heroes that are applying this Winter's Bite. Otherwise, if you don't have Anora or Ymir in the comp, it will not be enough to slow down the opposition. That's what I've seen, and I'm going to stand by that. I don't see that manifesting as a solo CC unit in the game. She just does not compare to the other ones that you would use for that role. And that is a problem because all of her awakenings are all basically surrounding increased CC chances. So the A1 is going to give an increased chance on this Ice Borer to inflict Winter's Bite. You got plus 300 attack on the A2, which is pretty standard. And then this one is, again, more chance to trigger Ice Boring Arrow, and you can double chance to inflict Ice Borer, which theoretically should increase her damage, which does not actually do all that much for her. Extra rage regen on the A4, which is nice for CC, because her ultimate is probably her best CC ability. And then on the A5, after using Frozen Rain, immediately triggers Frost Shatter one time, which is more chance to apply Winter's Bite. And you know, what I found in my testing was because of the proc-based nature of this, none of this makes a big difference as far as her CC abilities are concerned. So, you know, buyer beware is what I would say. I would not be all that pressed to get a copy of Lynx, which might be a blessing in disguise, because at the end of the day, Elowyn is on this banner, and I think they knew what they were doing here. Elowyn is one of the best heroes in the game, bar none. She is an OG, and yet she is still at the top of the heap. As far as support units in this game, there is no better unit in the game. She is just that good, and I love me some Elowyn. Now, I'm personally of the opinion that if you have a copy of Elowyn, you don't need more. But her awakenings are not bad. They're just not, you just get most of what you want from her at A0. So let's go through them real quick. After using Grace of Nature, reduces damage taken by 20% for 10 seconds. I do believe that this is only for her, but somebody can correct me in the comments if I am mistaken about that. I've never really been sure. Only ever pulled one copy of Elowyn, so I don't have the A1. I've never been in a position to really compare it and test it. I guess I could go do that in the test server, but I am working on limited time, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm sure that somebody in the comments will fill in for my lack of knowledge. And the A2 is plus 300 attack. She is an attack-based healer, so this does help out. Base attack, of course, that's going to be multiplied by all of your attack bonus gear, which is really nice. The A3, each basic attack launch has a 20% chance to dispel debuffs from allies. This is incredible. One of Elowyn's calling cards is that she is one of the few units in the game that can dispel debuffs. This really became super important when Guild Boss 2 was released during the poison phase. She is almost mandatory for APOC 2. Really, really important. If they ever add APOC 3 into the game, she's going to be even more important. And this allows her to not just dispel debuffs when she uses her ultimate, but also gives a 1 in 5 chance for her basic attack, which hits 3 units, by the way, to dispel a debuff as well. Really, really powerful stuff. It really mitigates the damage that your team takes during that poison phase. And it used to be, when the boss first came out, almost essential to really place highly on that leaderboard. The A4 is Rage Regen Auto +1. Not kind of subpar in my opinion. I don't love that. That's just 1 more rage per second. It's nice. Obviously gets her back to the ultimate more quickly, but you don't really need that. And then the A5, obtain a Wood Elf immediately after using Grace of Nature. This very situationally useful. Honestly, if you ask me, the A3 is where it's at as far as Elowyn is concerned. If you have, and then the last banner that we got to talk about, this Ancient Summoning banner. Not good. Not good at all, guys. Do not pull on this. I don't know why people do. I know that a bunch of you are going to do it. I know you are. You're probably not going to get what you want, though. It's just a crapshoot at this point. Maybe that's okay with you, but personally, I think the Ancients are so rare and so valuable, and all of the best lords in the game are locked behind them. You're better off waiting until there's a raid up. I know the raid up sucks. I know it misses, and I know that it makes you feel like you are just gonna die inside. I know it makes me feel like I'm gonna wither up and die inside. When you get like a Venoma or something like that when you're pulling for Praetus. I hear you, but it is unequivocal that even if the raid up kind of sucks, that it is a better chance to get the raid up hero than it is when there is no raid up. I mean, it doesn't mean you will get it, but it just means you have a better chance. So I always think that you need to wait. This is not something that you should be pulling on. So my advice ultimately to you is, if you have Elowyn at A0, don't pull. Don't pull on anything, honestly. I don't think that there is a reason to pull. Maybe if you don't have Greed, I guess. I always skip the epics. Greed is a phenomenal epic. If you don't have a copy of Greed, you might want to get a copy of Greed. But I just don't think it's worth pulling here. Like I was saying before, the Awakenings are not all that important for Elowyn. So if you have the base copy, you've got 95% of what the hero does. The A3 is nice, but it's not needed anywhere right now. Now, that may change. That might be, I don't know. I haven't played around with like the Abyss 1 difficulty on Guild Boss 1 that's coming, things like that. I don't know. But I do know that Lynx is just not great. Really not great. I don't think it's going to be a game changer. Might be okay in GVG, potentially, if you have the right comp. But I just don't think that, bringing Lynx is going to put you in a better spot than say if you brought Anora and Ymir in there and then another damage dealer, or Hell Agreed, or Amari, or something like that. Amari has really good synergy with those two as well. So yeah, in any case, guys, that is my thoughts. So I'd say A0 Elowyn, you skip it. If you don't have a copy of Elowyn, good God, you got to be pulling, because she is just that good. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I do hope this was helpful. Please sound off in the comments. Let me know what you're doing, and I will catch you all next time. Please do like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Thanks so much. I'll catch you all next time.